Hey everybody, Matthew here with VIP Financial Education. Sorry for the fluffy coat today. Weird cold snow day here in Colorado, and I'm out running around, freezing my tail off on the land. I'm trying to get things ready here at the short-term rental for the season. Got a busy summer ahead, and I'm heading back to Florida for a few months during obviously the hottest time to be there. So I'll be shedding this soon enough, that is for sure. But I wanted to take a quick break and talk with you guys quickly about high yield savings accounts because the Fed just raised interest rates to the highest level in 15 years. And while that may not be great news for those in the market for a mortgage, as an example, it does actually bring good news for those that are seeking higher savings account rates. And we've touched on the benefits that you can see with high yield savings accounts like the one that Apple recently launched, and they're looking better and better as the Fed continues to make its moves. But that said, there are some downsides that I've been meaning to talk about here on the channel that do come along with those accounts. We dive into those downsides in today's video. Make sure you stick around if you're planning on using one. All right, so savings accounts have not been too attractive in recent years. But with interest rates increasing, savings accounts interest rates are actually following suit now, and it's making high yield savings accounts more and more attractive. However, it is important to note that there may be tax implications that are associated with your savings account that you need to be aware of. Now, regardless of the type of savings account, the interest that you're earning is considered taxable income by the IRS. Since high yield savings accounts generate more interest income, the taxable amount is usually going to be higher than that of regular savings accounts. That's how math works. So how is a savings account taxed exactly? Now, the interest earned on your savings account is added to your total taxable income, and the tax owed is based on your federal income tax bracket. Now, typically, the higher your income, the higher your tax bracket, and the more taxes you may owe on your interest income. Your federal tax rate is determined by your filing status and taxable income from all sources, including interest. However, there is some good news. The IRS adjusts federal income tax brackets annually to account for inflation. So you may pay a lower tax rate for the 2023 tax bracket than you did last year. Individuals with higher incomes may be subject to an additional tax known as the net investment income tax, which is currently at a 3.8% tax on capital gains, rental property income, and dividend income. Now, you may be wondering how much of your savings account interest income is taxable. Well, unfortunately, all interest earned from your high yield savings accounts will be considered taxable income, regardless of the amount that you earn. If your interest earnings exceed $10, your financial institution will send you a Form 1099, INT. However, you are still required to report any savings account interest earned to the IRS, even if the amount is below the $10 threshold. The interest income from your savings account should be reported on your tax return in the year it was earned. Additionally, you may also be required to pay income tax on interest earned at the state level. Most states treat interest from high yield savings accounts as taxable income. Even states without income tax, such as New Hampshire, Florida, they have a special income tax for interest income. Beyond the tax implications that come with savings accounts, additional downsides to having a savings account include inflation, fees, limited liquidity, and opportunity costs, not to mention debt servicing costs you may be paying elsewhere. Now, the rate of inflation can outpace the interest earned on your savings account, causing your money to lose value over time. Just look at the inflation that we've been seeing now for the past year. Even though the US inflation rate is finally sitting below 5%, it's still sitting higher than most high yield savings account rates. Obviously, the effect of compound interest weighs in favor of the savings account when making this comparison. But once you add in taxes and fees into the equation, any gains you may have seen from your high yield savings account can quickly evaporate. And those savings accounts are designed to hold money for short-term needs and emergencies. If you need to access your money quickly or frequently, a savings account may not be the best option, as there may be limits on how many withdrawals you can make per month. And that brings us to the greatest downside to savings accounts, which is their opportunity cost. Holding too much money in a savings account may mean missing out on other investment opportunities that might be able to provide you higher returns over the long term. Now, we've talked about opportunity costs at length on this channel in previous videos, so make sure you check them out. I'll put some links in the description for you below. But all of that being said, savings accounts are earning more than they have for quite a while. So certainly we can be pleased about that. And we'd recommend that you consider your overall financial goals when you are deciding on how much money to keep in a savings account versus other investments. Right now, I happen to have a considerable amount of money, several $100,000 sitting in higher yield savings accounts. Normally, I wouldn't be doing that. But one last question that I wanted to cover before we close out today's video is, have savings account interest rates peaked? Well, the Federal Reserve has signaled that it may pause interest rate hikes, indicating that savings account interest rates could be at their peak for the time being. And that said, it's important to know that interest rates on high yield savings accounts are variable and they can change at any time also. Rates typically follow whatever the Fed does with the federal funds rate. So if putting your money in a high yield savings account makes sense for your financial goals right now, then you certainly shouldn't wait around for the interest rates to potentially get higher. What do you think of high yield savings accounts yourself? Have you started using any? I'm currently generating, I want to say 3.75% over at Ally. I know they've adjusted it at least once since I started putting money in, but I'm curious whether you're storing your money in one. If yes or no, let us know in the comments below why or why not. Certainly join the conversation. I'm interested to hear what you think of these accounts since they've become more profitable than they had been for so long. I do want to thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. And until I see you next time, make it a great day and keep on cash flowing. I'm going to head out back in the snow there and keep on working on this horseshoe pit that I'm building for my guests. See you soon. Bye-bye.